Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Ree, and I am here on the Cyber Coffee Hour, and the coffee is brewing.
All right, what's up, coffee makers, not coffee takers? You're locked into the Cyber Coffee Hour, where we brew up insights and community in the digital world. I'm the People's Chief, Dr. Joseph J. Burt-Miller Jr., and he's the one and only Master Cyber Farms, Alfredzo B. Nash Jr. We both hail from the legendary streets of Mount Vernon, New York, where we're coming to you live and direct from the DMV area. We're gathered to share the incredible stories and experiences of our amazing guests. Our mission is straightforward: to share knowledge, deepen understanding, and foster a vibrant community within the vast realm of cyberspace. So grab your coffee mug and let's brew. All right, so for today's show, we'll have a coffee chat with Dr. Jeree Spicer, cybersecurity and governance leader. Dr. Jeree Spicer, also known as Dr. Ree and ReeTheCyberBoss, is a cybersecurity expert with over 7 years of experience in strategy, risk management, engineering, and awareness. She has played a key role in developing cybersecurity governance and engineering frameworks and has led cross-functional initiatives. In her current role as a cybersecurity product manager at a leading healthcare technology company, she integrates cybersecurity into the product development lifecycle. She founded ReeTheCyberBoss to educate underrepresented communities on digital safety and is the author of the children's book, The Adventures in Cybersecurity with Huggy Hugglesworth. Huggy Goes to Cyberspace. Dr. Spicer holds a Doctor of Science in Cybersecurity with research focusing on cyberpsychology, cybercrime, and online behavior, bridging human behavior and digital security. She also holds certifications including Certified Ethical Hacker, Certified Scrum Product Owner, Computer Hacking Forensic Investigator, and IC Squares Certified in Cybersecurity. Outside of her professional life, she is a Crohn's disease advocate and mentors women of color in STEM. Dr. Ree, welcome to the Cyber Coffee Hour.
Wow, now I feel like I need some coffee.
Yeah. There it is. Yeah. Coffee mugs all around.
I see. Got it now. I see.
Yeah, we gotta stay on brand.
Well, Dr. Ree, it is amazing to have you on the show. Very excited, and as you see, the excitement, especially me, I'm finding all these new features today, so I'm playing around with stuff.
Right.
But no, just kind of as we do, like to go around the virtual table. Dr. Ree, you're our guest. Just tell us how things have been going for you so far.
Wow. Well, first, thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. I think the main thing for me, I've been trying to rest and reset ever since I finished school, but I really haven't had a chance to really rest and reset. A lot of research that I've been doing that I did during the program is now like public and it's out there. I actually just came back from a conference yesterday and I presented some research. I started a new job, so I've been trying to like transition into that and really just trying to put more effort towards my platform. And I want to emphasize on I've been trying to rest and reset. It's been very hard, but there's a lot of good things coming up, and it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So I love October, but when Cybersecurity Awareness Month comes up, I'm like, it's so much pressure because you got to stay like relevant during this time, especially if you're like a professional. But I really love this month because it's my son's birthday month. So October is all about him. So I was meant to have him in October, the Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So
that's perfect. Yeah. That's perfect. Alfredzo, how about you, sir?
Oh man, so yeah, I like the fall too. I have to admit though, it is interesting hustling around when everything is slowing down. You know, as a species, we run around and get ready too, but like you said, you gotta make space for resting. Like I said in a couple episodes, I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to take a break, and I still don't. Apparently, my nature work is spinning up. There's activities I have to do in addition to going to work, and then another volunteer organization that I'm working for, I'm doing training for the Security Plus. I didn't initially know it was Security Plus because it was like a side of desk thing. I thought it was something else. And so now I'm doing that like college classwork, which again I haven't done in a few years. So it's kind of like I stay up late, get ready for work, get up pretty early, do that, and then try to study. I haven't done that in a few years, but I am excited for fall as well too. This is one of my favorite seasons because the rhyme and reason is that I can start planting new stuff, ripping stuff out the ground. My kids are running around with me. It's a little cooler outside, and then we get to go do fall activities. My daughter's birthday's in November, so I relate to you. It's a very special time of year. My oldest, and then my son just turned 5 in June, so they both go to school now together. So I echo that. The last thing I realized too is the podcast activity. Like I said on a couple episodes too, we're kind of ramping up, and then it's always like staying up to date with our emails, staying up to date with contacts and contracts. And then staying up to date fiscally. This time around, I'm starting to realize like it takes a lot to keep the coffee brewing. So gotta get a gym membership. I gotta get to bed a little earlier. Yeah, take my vitamins. But yeah, that's all I got right now. That's all I can really think of right now.
I guess just shout out to my fellow government employees right now. I know we're kind of going through it right now with the whole shutdown, but kind of honestly just using this time to catch up on other things that I have going on. So in a sense, it kind of works out. But as part for me, I love October. Well, for one, of course, Cybersecurity Awareness Month, but also two, I love baseball. It's the postseason. It's baseball playoffs. So I'm following my Yankees. So the Yankees, we take on Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. So game 1 of the ALDS. So I'll be locked in for that. It's a great time for baseball fans. But yeah, no, outside of that, just really, just taking this time to enjoy the weather, enjoy the air. Same thing to staying active, going to the gym, of course, studying as always. Yeah, really nothing really different, outside of what I mentioned earlier, but, just sticking with everything and being able to have days like this when we have the great Dr. Jeree Spicer on the Cyber Coffee Hour. We'll go ahead and get started. Doctor, and I just want to take the time to say, Dr. Ree, I am extremely proud of you because I know, for one, being able to contribute towards your research and just everything that you're doing, and just watching your growth and everything to where you are now, be able to see it to the finish line. I just want to take the time to say I'm absolutely very proud of you, and I just wish you all the best as you continue to grow and continue to make a positive impact within the cyber community.
I love that. Thank you. That's what I like about this industry. I feel like exactly what you just did for me. That's how we all should be towards each other, because it's already not a lot of us in this space. So being able to give people flowers and being able to just relate to one another, because we, like Dr. J and I, have a long history. I remember the day I asked him, I want to go and get my doctorate. Do you think I should go and get it? Because I think he was just finishing up his doctorate, and I participated in his research. So it's like a full circle. And then he participated in my research. So it's really full circle. So I appreciate that, and I'm very happy to be done.
Hey, I'm kind of seeing the writing on the wall with you, Dr. Joseph. You get surrounded by doctors.
Yeah.
Gotta step my game up now.
I'll say you're next, sir. You're next.
Yeah. Hey, I see it now. We about 4 or 5 doctors in that. Yeah, and congratulations, Dr. Ree, because it is the energy, it is that coffee in this tribe. So yeah, that definitely. I'm seeing the writing on the
wall. Absolutely. But so Dr. Ree, so your research is focused on cybersecurity, cybercrime, and online behavior. Can you elaborate on how understanding human behavior is crucial in shaping effective cybersecurity strategies?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that wasn't my original topic. I wanted to write about cybersecurity education and how we should have it in K through 12. Do y'all remember the program DARE? Do y'all remember that?
Yes. Oh my God.
Okay, so we still remember that to this day, and I'm like, why don't we have something like that for cybersecurity?
Exactly. With the T-shirts and everything,
Yes, when I said that in front of my classmates, they were looking at me like, what? And my teacher was like, no. She's like, you are way too passionate about this. You need to talk about something else. So then I was on social media one day, and I'm like, I wonder, do people think about how we behave on social media, like all these different changes. Like I think at that time, the whole TikTok thing just happened, so everybody was kind of crashing out about it. And then like Instagram, like it had an update, and Facebook, all of these different things. And I was like, I really wonder, like I wanted to tie cyber psychology in and cybersecurity, and I presented it to my professor, and I presented it to her in 5 different ways, and she wouldn't tell me which way to go. So I'm like, like I just was so frustrated, because then I was trying to include AI as well, and my external reader was like, nobody cares about AI, like everybody is writing about it, do something different. So I'm like, okay, let's tie in cyber psychology and cybersecurity and see how it impacts our behavior on social media. And I purposely didn't choose TikTok. Everybody wanted me to choose TikTok, but at the time it just was just a lot of uncertainty, because I didn't know if it was going to come back, and I didn't want to have to go through waiting an extra 5 months or a year because I'm relying on some app that may go away. So I did Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also known as X. And would you believe it or not, at least from the data I looked at, YouTube is actually the #1 social media platform, which I thought was interesting, because everybody thought it was going to be TikTok, but it's actually YouTube.
Brilliant.
I can see that.
Yeah, I
mean,
can
because
too.
everyone is uploading, their videos, and a lot of people got their, I'll say, stardom through YouTube. If you're
Exactly.
consistently, posting on there.
Yeah.
Dr.
So
Ree, you are also brilliant, because the YouTube University impact psychologically, right? There's an emotional attached to seeing our peers. You said it too. Roses, reviews, reactions, right? So that was brilliant. It's a brilliant understanding, because we're on YouTube too now. So we got to look at it at a different lens, a different, aspect.
It was, see, people, they was trying to talk about me like, oh, YouTube. I said, well, that's what the data says. I said, so YouTube was #1, but throughout my entire study, like what I discovered is that, like, obviously, we really need to factor cyber psychology into cybersecurity, because I think a lot of companies, and I haven't worked for a lot of organizations, but I just think that we always focus on the technical piece, but we never focus on the person itself. And then, like, in my opinion, those who are in the awareness field, like who are awareness leaders and responsible for educating the organization, I think that they deserve a lot more money, and they deserve a lot more respect, because I feel like they have the toughest job, rather than, like, I know, and I've been an engineer, so I've done technical and non-technical, but when we're engineers, I'm only worried about what's going on the infrastructure side. When you're on the awareness and education side, you have to worry about the entire company. So you're worrying about the people who don't work on the IT or cybersecurity side and don't understand, or they probably don't care. So I think that it's important. What I discovered is that we need cyber psychologists and cybersecurity professionals to work together, so they can build better, effective strategies, to think person first. And then once you change the person's behavior, it's like it's a straight shot. Like, okay, fix the person's behavior, or influence it, and then that'll help, like, the cybersecurity program overall. I just don't think we're there yet. I think maybe some organizations may want to do that, but it's really just all about staying up to date with the different trends in a different industry. And I'm really rooting for cyber psychology to, like, sneak its way into cyber. And I'm trying to, like, get everybody on board, because I think that needs to be a piece of that. So
Hey, I'm having a metaversal moment right now. So yes, I'll take this too as an engineer, right? From going the other side, engineers, we don't have the emotional intelligence, especially when you think like, oh, I've been under multiple cyber intrusions, and I'm coughing up the coffee right now, right? Under multiple intrusions, I start to lack empathy for the organization. And I'm not the first one to say that, because you could look at cyber PSTD, you could look at the trauma associated with that. It would be nice as an engineer for someone to unpack and say, listen,
absolutely.
the other org thinks you need, even recent feedback, you need a softer touch when you're talking about intrusions, right? They don't know what that is. You need to realize it's not that same trauma that's being unpacked. And to be honest, this is the conversations we wanted to have on the Cyber Coffee Hour, right? This is we didn't see this. We didn't see this in industry. Like, yo, why are people not talking about this? Why aren't people, like, expressing the frustrations on both sides of the house and side of business, side of desk? So that's, again, brilliant. And this is a good segue too. You say you're the founder of ReeTheCyberBoss. What was your inspiration behind creating this platform? And what specific goals do you hope to achieve in educating underrepresented communities?
Yeah, so it actually, I never wanted to start a platform. I will be the first person to say that, and people probably gonna get me, but I am a true 9-to-5er. I respect anybody that's an entrepreneur. It's just a lot of work.
Say that again.
I mean, it's a lot of work. Like, and I wouldn't like, now listen, I'm not saying that like if some big, I don't know, a billionaire could come to me one day, like, I want to buy that and we'll just keep you on the board. Oh, absolutely. I'm straight. The 9-to-5 will go away.
Oh, somebody give you the Shark Tank offer.
Yeah.
So,
and it's the reason why there's a tank, right?
Right. So I feel like so I never saw myself starting ReeTheCyberBoss, but God rest her soul, I'm a AKA. So my sponsor at the time, she knew that I was in school for cybersecurity. This was back in 2018. And I was fresh in cybersecurity, like still in school, still interning. And she was like, she wants to book me for career day. And I was presenting to 7th to 8th graders. Of course, at the time, the only thing that they wanted to talk about was like cyberbullying and sexting and how to protect themselves on social media and things like that. And then like, after I did that, I was like, I really like this. Like, I should like try to come up with something to like do this again. And she was like, well, if you're going to be taken serious, I mean, she really clocked me. Like, if you want to be taken serious, like you need to like get serious. You probably need to like develop a business. I'm like, what? I said, I don't want to do that. So she's like, well, you need to be taken serious. And I said, okay. So I actually took what she said. I sat down. And at the time, I feel like everybody kind of were already established in cyber. So I'm new. So I'm like, I don't want to step on anybody's toes. Like, I need to figure out what am I going to be called. And I kept looking and I'm like, I don't want to be called Barbie. I don't want to be called Babe. Cause I just, that was kind of the trend at the time. And I'm just like, what can I call myself? And then, I love T-Pain. I'm an original T-Pain fan. So like,
oh man, we hope he sees this now.
Listen, so I was listening to the song Boss by him and Rick Ross. And I was sitting there, I'm like, oh, like I could call myself the cyber boss. And I'm like, because I don't see anybody saying that. Right. And like, that's the attitude that I was trying to have. And then I'm like, okay, I can't just be called the cyber boss because I'm like, that's kind of generic. And I'm like, oh, well, let me drop the first 2 letters off my name. Because at the time I had blonde hair and everybody was calling me Blondie. And I'm like, I can't be called the blonde cyber boss. I might start something. I'm like, that's too much. So I'm like, oh, ReeTheCyberBoss. And then like I had a friend at the time who was a graphic designer. I'm like, make me a logo. This is what I want it to look like. And he made it. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I also had a friend, she was a virtual assistant at the time. So she was like, I'll help you stand up your Instagram. I'll help you make your content. Like, keep going. And I had a podcast episode about this as well. Like, I've been up and down with ReeTheCyberBoss. Like, I've gone through imposter syndrome because I'm like, I couldn't figure out what I wanted ReeTheCyberBoss to be. I knew that I wanted to educate like the Black and brown community because like when I was growing up, I didn't know anything about cyber. Like my aunt has worked in tech for 20 years, but I never knew anything about cyber. And I'm like, I want people to feel that cyber is accessible. I want them to feel educated. I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, I'm not smart enough to know cyber or to even be in cyber. And when I first came out with ReeTheCyberBoss, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just do workshops. I wasn't trying to consult because I'm like, I'm not even there to consult yet. And I'm like, I want to do workshops. I want to train. Like, I want to do different things like that in the community. And then I was making content and stuff because like at the time I came out with it in 2019, but it was really established in 2020. So I'm like because I had all my paperwork prior to that, but then I didn't start putting anything out there until 2020. And during that time, that's kind of when everybody's stuff like climbed up because we were all in the house. So I would make content and like all of that. And then I felt like I wasn't getting enough engagement. So I'm like, I deleted the page. And then I'm like, no, like I restarted my page and then I deleted that one and I tried to do the content for my page and I'm like, no, these really need to be separate. I said, I can't be in an industry where we talk about segregation of duties and I'm trying to have both. I said, nope, I got a personal Instagram and a business Instagram. And of course, so of course, I it's been through so many iterations. Like I was blogging at one point, I was trying to do consultations at one point, and I'm like, this is just not working. So it wasn't until I had I'm a part of an organization called Baddies in Tech, and I was like nominated. I won like Baddie of the Year in 2021, and I'm like, okay, this is my motivation to keep going, because there was a lot of people who supported me, and I just didn't know, So I'm like, I want to just ramp up, but then like it was hard to ramp up at the time because I just had found out I was pregnant, and I had just became an engineer. I was like, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me? Like, it's too much. So I just kept it. I kept it up with the content. I kept it up with things, anything cyber related. It wasn't until I finished school this year, like, okay, this is what ReeTheCyberBoss is going to be about. It's going to be about, my podcast. It's going to be my children's books. It's going to be the books I come out with. It's going to be really the empowerment and education of like our community. It's really cybersecurity for the culture. That's what I call it. Because, my goal, I've already prayed to God about it, that whatever book I come out with is going to be like New York's bestseller, at least one of them. Like, I like Forbes is going to recognize me. Like somebody big,
right?
Somebody big in cyber going to come and give me a big fat check. Like, yeah, keep this going. Like, we want this in the schools. I don't really care about like how many followers I have. I really care about the impact, because I get so many LinkedIn messages today. I get so many different messages. And like, I'm not one of those people, like I respond. I might take 2, 3, 4 weeks to respond, but you're going to get a response from me. Because I just know how it is to not have anybody in your corner, or just if you just reaching out. And I'm not a gatekeeper. I want everybody to win. So that's what I hope ReeTheCyberBoss does. And that's like my baby now. Now I'm serious. Like, okay, no, I'm going to keep going. And then ever since I rebranded and I got consistent brand, it's perfect. Like, people like, please don't stop. Like, keep going. Because I just was talking about this on another podcast I was on. I'm like, I probably could have been up to 10K followers by now, but I've deleted my pages several times.
So one thing I have to say, that I absolutely admire your persistence through all that, and I think that's something that a lot of people who are trying to get started, to deal with the imposter syndrome, is like, is anyone reading this or anyone listening to this? If you're doing a podcast or whatever, I mean, Alfredzo, I mean, we've gone through that. There's a lot of times when we try to get started, we didn't start because we're trying to make sure all the ducks were lined up. And I think the main thing is you just start, and but as you do it, you learn, and you take that feedback from people. And it's also one thing that I take away from what you said too, is that you have a great community that supports you. So everyone that you have within your circle, they're willing to help in different ways to help you see you grow, because they believe in what you're doing. And I think that's so important. I think that's a great message for anyone listening right now, is that it is, no matter what it is that you want to do, you want to keep that circle that you have with you and keep it tight, and share your goals, share your ideas, and see, you use the support, use the people around you to help you, reach your goals. Because is unless you got like unless you bankrolling, it's not too often you're going to be able to do a lot of these things by yourself. It does, you hear the term, it takes a village. I think that's true, man. Yeah, you use the people, not use, but when people offer to give you that help, don't refuse it, because they want to see you succeed.
So 100% received on both ends from the doctors, right? So in the first time in coffee hour history, I'm a little speechless, because I love what you said about what God is trying to tell me. I'm not going to turn into a sermon, but I feel he was telling you to apply all of yourself right now. Like, go in, go ham, and your tribal elder. Shout out to the AKAs, because there's a history there I don't fully understand, but she was built different, giving you that advice. That was a blessing in disguise, right? Because just like Dr. Joseph said, we struggled with that for 2 years. Like, hey, we got to separate. Like, we did the research. I was kind of on the fence, like, yeah, like, oh my God, like, how are we going to do this and not flop? Because we saw the same thing you saw. Some of the stuff was just boring. Like, I'll be honest with you, we didn't want to come out and just be boring and not get this engagement right here from you, Dr. We were looking for coffee makers just like you. So shout out to that effort, because it does take a whole tribal group of elders. And again, shout out to the AKAs because they built different for giving you that advice, right? The next thing I want you to realize too, and we might not see it, but talking across this community of practice, share those links. Share everything you got. Share everything you do inside the desk. Keep promoting, keep self-hyping up, keep going out and hyping up others because that's how it gets done. Then right, when it's a whole cadre of folks in there saying, yo, I bump elbows with Dr. Ree, Dr. Joseph, Dr. this one, there's an unstoppable force in community of practice, right? So that's what I received. And again, I'm stuttering because for the first time in our history, I was almost speechless when you said that. It was almost like so much parallels between how we
put that on a shirt. That October 4th, 12:57 p.m. that you were speechless for the first time on the podcast.
It's gonna go on the back, and we need shirts now.
Right.
We need shirts, caps. One of the jokes is gonna say Hideo for my boy Devrin, right? Like, yes, because you're right. This is in the first time in my history. I said, damn, we're not the only ones. We're not alone. It sounds like there's a parallel that I'm hearing with everyone that and not to rant because I'm getting hyped on this part. The parallel of like I still gotta maintain a 9 to 5. I still gotta take care of family. I still gotta show up with all of myself in cyber, right? And I still gotta be there to show people that with all of that, there's the adversity, there's the gatekeeping, there's running the gauntlet, like we said before, Dr. Joseph. We got to be the ones to punch through all that and build the community and build the industry that we want to see and show up in, because it's not easy. I'm be honest with you. Everyone might think outside the fence and like, oh, it's so easy to get into cyber, this and that. Look around. Look at how the world is changing. Right. You got to be out there and run the gauntlet with everyone that's doing it right now. So let me not go too far. Let's go on to the next one right here. The Adventures in Cybersecurity with Huggy Hugglesworth. Huggy goes to cyberspace, brings cybersecurity to life for younger audiences. What motivated you to write a children's book on this topic, and what impact do you hope it has? These are good back to back too, by the
way. Well, obviously my son he was my motivation. Fun fact, I have not always been in cybersecurity. My bachelor's is in criminal justice and child development. So I have a child development background, and I was a toddler teacher at one point. That's actually how I got my first internship and job in cyber, because I went to work for the headquarters. So my parents instilled education. I feel like obviously you don't remember what it was like in the womb, but I feel like ever since the womb, it's just been education. My dad always told me like school is only as hard as you make it. So I could never come home and be like, oh, it was like just so hard today. Mm-hmm. He'd be like, no, school is only as hard as you make it. Like when I graduated college from undergrad, that was what was on the top of my cap. Because like it's true, school is only as hard as you make it. So when when my boyfriend and I had got pregnant, we were shopping, and I'm like, I can't believe that I can't find any cybersecurity books for birth to 5. So ages 0 to 5, not middle school, not elementary, not high school, not college. I said, I haven't been able to find anything. And one day I just started like putting stuff together on like PowerPoint, and I'm like, I was even considering like, dang, do I need to go like get a certificate so I can like publish my own children's book? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to take some English classes? And then I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I just drafted it of how I wanted it to look in PowerPoint. And I said, all I need is an illustrator and I'm straight. And I was talking to somebody at work about it, and she was like, oh my God, like I got a friend. She an illustrator. I'm like, okay, cool. Met with her friend. Her friend like, oh yeah, I'm all into this. And she was like, just work with me because I got a busy schedule. She didn't tell me that she worked for Disney. I was like, wait, hold on.
What?
You work for Disney? I said, oh, I'm absolutely
Mickey
going
Mouse?
to go around your schedule. When I say, shout out to Sierra Care. Like, she is the most talented person I have ever come around. Like, the way that she brought my vision to life, like, she literally brought Huggy to life. So nice. I came up with it, and I had started interviewing publishers because I tried to go the self-publishing route. It's too much. I'm sorry. It's too much. I would be the first person to say, you know what? Let me pay somebody who gets paid for this. I am of the business of, some stuff I could do myself. I can write it myself, ideate myself, but like it takes a village. So I don't want to do everything. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with no inventory. So I stumbled across this publisher, and they're in South Carolina. And God worked in mysterious ways, because this guy was like, oh my gosh. He was like, he used to be a lawyer. And now he's working for this publishing company. And he was like, oh my gosh, like, I want you to meet this woman. She used to be on the administration for Obama. And she was in like the cybersecurity and law space. And he was like, I got to tell her that you're coming out with a children's book. He was like, because this is great. He was like, I'm getting this for my kids. So I put it together, and then like it came out. It's been out a year. So I actually do have books on hand this time, but I normally don't have books on hand because it's print on demand. So you get it through Amazon. You really get it through my publisher. So wherever it goes, because when it first came out, it was on Barnes and Noble, it was on Amazon, it was on different international libraries. But I think wherever it does the best that's where they keep it. So now it's only on Amazon, which I'm fine with, because as long as you can buy it, that's what I'm cool with. So I wanted to be, do y'all remember the book series, Junie B. Jones? Do anybody?
Oh my God, my daughter's reading that right now.
So, like, you know how, you know, like how Junie B. Jones is like a series, like Junie B. Jones, you know,
adventure.
It's just like, they took us through that whole journey. So like the idea of the book. So like the first book was Huggy Goes to Cyberspace. Everybody like, that is a very long title. I said, I know, but you don't have to say the whole title. You could just say Huggy Goes to Cyberspace. But it's also about branding too, because I want every book to be an adventure. So the first book was literally about cyberspace and understanding what is it. And then the next book is going to be a different adventure. Each book, he's going to be in a different adventure. So I have come up with the second book, but I don't want to do it without my illustrator. So however long it takes, that's when it'll come out. But I wrote the second book, and I know what the second adventure is going to be. But I just really hope that people can like grab this book, read it to their kids. Like I know plenty of people, like some of my friends, oh my God, this is like their kid's favorite book, so they can read through it. And like at my previous company, a lot of people bought it. And they like, oh, sign my book. And I'm like, yo, I'm like I'm a regular person. They like, well, no, one day this might be worth some money.
Yeah, word up. Let's get this like, praise now.
They're like, no, yeah, this is gonna be worth some money.
Like, no, sign this. So I mean, I really just wanted to be. I envision it like how a Junie B. Jones series was, or like how Sesame Street is, or like how Clifford the Big Red Dog is. I mean, it'd be great if I can be like how Bluey is, because Bluey taking over. God. And I already put in my mind, like, man, wouldn't that be great? Like if Gracie's Corner reach out, like, yeah, let's make a character for your son, and let's make a song about cyber. Like, I have so many ideas. Miss Rachel too. I didn't tag her a few times. Like, this is what you need. So I hope it gets to that one day, but I'm gonna keep going no matter what.
Let's speak it into existence. Let's fuel this with some coffee. Give us the links, and now we're going to set up bookshop.com. And then we're going to link you with the community of practice on our link tree, and anybody else that has been published. Danette Kamal, if you're watching. And we're going to make a section in our bookshop for these books, because yes, you got to pump it out. You got to get it out there. And then everywhere it shows up, keep reciprocating through all your platforms, especially this one. This is insane. Like I don't even know where to go. But you need to understand, like, yes, you're in that niche that didn't exist in the world, and you created it. So it's going to show up now everywhere you go, even when you leave the planet. so that's the goal. Like, yeah, you give us a link, and we'll put it together. We'll put it together in a small library on bookshop.com. That's a beautiful idea too. I just you're right. Most of us don't even think like about those books.
No, they don't. And it's interesting because like we started off as coworkers, but now we're really good friends. I didn't even know, but she like everywhere she was going, she was like telling people like, oh, you need to get this book, you need to get this book. And then like one day she was in this local bookstore in Detroit, and she was like, look what I see. And it was my book. I'm like, wait, my books are in there? And she was like, yeah, the owner, she bought like, yeah. And she was like, yeah, they bought some books, and like they're setting up and they put it in the children's section. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it's interesting because like, again, it's print on demand. So I never know who buys it unless they tell me, because they can go right to my publisher. Most independent bookstores or libraries, as long as they got your ISBN, they can say, hey, I want to order a quantity of this. So that was cool to see. And I told my friend, like, take a picture in front of it, like put your face in it, like take a picture in front of it. So that was cool to see. But yeah, I love it's crazy. I have my son has not even read the book yet.
Ah, that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes.
He knows it exists.
He knows it exists, but like people are like, well, how does he react like seeing himself? And I'm like, he hasn't, because we have not read it yet.
That's
we have not read it yet. It's crazy.
He'll appreciate it soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
He will.
Yeah. Round 5. Give it to round 5. Yeah.
Right. Now he about to be 3. He loves reading, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like read it to him and see like if he recognizes like it's me. Right. Like so yeah.
No, that's really awesome.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And I know that has to be a great feeling, you know, seeing your work in other cities, you know, outside of your local areas. That's gotta be awesome.
Yeah.
So in your current role at a healthcare technology company, you support the intersection of cybersecurity innovation, you know, and product security. So how do you ensure digital trust is embedded throughout the product life cycle in such a critical industry?
I feel like this is actually new for me because I've always been, I'm a very well diverse person. Like when people say, I just got a LinkedIn message the other day, like, you seem like you've had a lot of different roles. Like, how did you get to that point? I remember when I first got in the industry, I swore up and down I was going to be an ethical hacker. No. Shout out to all the ethical hackers, but absolutely not. Shout out to anybody that work on the SOC team. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like
there's trauma there. I'll just be honest with you.
I can't. So I always said that I wanted to be diverse. I wanted to be well-rounded. So I've done governance, risk, compliance, audit. I've done engineering. And then like I kind of slowly start getting into engineering, kind of pumped my interest in like product management and program management and things like that. So I've always been in the financial sector. So moving over to the med tech sector I feel like I'm like a kid going into their first day of school because it's completely different. The reason why I believe you should build digital trust, I mean, it starts with the customers. It starts with even just working with teams. And sometimes, 9 times out of 10, people don't want to be talked to like they don't know what they're talking about. Like, it's a way to talk to the engineers. It's a way to talk to the customers. It's a way to talk to your leader. It's a way to get things done. And I've always really used my soft skills. And when I was an engineer, people couldn't believe I was an engineer because I always said I'm never going to be an engineer. There's too much going on. I'm not interested, but I actually loved it. However, I was really good with engineering because I knew how to come out of my shoes, put on their shoes, and understand from their perspective. So when you're building digital trust, especially like in a med tech sector, you're dealing with a different type of data. So it's a little different. It was still serious in like financial sector because like, I mean, federally regulated. Like any place you working at that's federally regulated, you want to make sure you're on point. Like I would love, as a side note, I would love to like talk to somebody who is responsible, who works as like a regulator like on the federal side. I would love to pick their brain for a day. Like, let's have breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, dessert, all of that together. I really want to know how they feel and what they expect when they're, you know, performing these, regulatory exams across these different industries. For me, building digital trust is really just treating a person like they're a person and not like, you know, I know people probably say like, this is something I had to learn. Leaders like executive leaders, if we walk outside the building and I don't know that you work there, you just a normal person and I'm just walking past saying, hey. So you always just want to talk to a person and treat them with respect. Like a lot of conflict comes out of the blue because either you talking to somebody like they don't know what they're talking about, you're belittling someone, or you just trying to come in like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. No, understand, okay, help me, help you, help me. Like that's the whole thing. Literally, like that is the whole thing. So a part of just building digital trust is making sure that people understand, one, what cybersecurity is, how can it impact you, why is it important for the product security life cycle, and, you know, why it's important to the customer.
How do you help with that tone and temperament? Because you're right, the engineers, especially when you change sectors like that, it's hard to really say, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And there's a humility to say, well, how do we change what's been done for 10, 20, 30, especially with government? I mean, not taking shots, like they're a well-instituted organization if you land on a startup versus, you know, a big financial hub or a big medical hub. So how do you help engineers and business reset that tone and temper?
I think at my old company, it was a little bit easier because at that point I had been there for 6 years and I know everybody. So I had a connect in every business unit you could think of, like, because they like, oh yeah, you've helped me before. They was quick to help me. And then when I was on my last team, it was funny. I'm still close with them to this day, but we were like a powerhouse because I had the background of the company. My coworker Greg, he came from the military, so he had that experience on top of cyber. And then my other coworker Jared, he was fresh. Like, I'm talking about just finished his boot camp, just finished his project, but he was ready. So it was like us three together were able to bounce ideas off each other, figure out like how to talk to people, understand, like Greg would break down the technical terms to me. I would break it down in business terms. Jared was just ready to get out there and execute it. Like, let's go. So us three together was like a powerhouse. Like, my boss at the time, he never had to worry about anything. Like, he was like, y'all are such a high functioning team. He just knew everything. So I think for me, when I moved over to my new job, I think that I would just respect it a little bit differently because I have a doctorate. So they like, okay. So I think it's because, but where I work at, a lot of people have advanced degrees. It's just across several industries, but everybody like, oh, okay, like you're an SME in cybersecurity at this point, which I feel like I'm still on the journey to become an SME. I don't think I'm like a full SME yet. I feel like I still have a bit to go. But I've only been in the industry for 8 years. But I think that because I have my doctorate, and now that I've spent all this time researching, I say this the most respectful way. I don't like to make emotional decisions. When you're trying to convince somebody, you need straight up data. Now, when they see data, they can say, okay, you're not lying. Like, so I try to pull everything from data, but explain to them in a way that they would understand. Like, I don't just immediately start talking to people about business. Hey, how is your day going? How was your weekend? I remember you mentioned that you had a kid. How are they doing? Like, you have to really build trust with people and get to know them. So I kind of shift that tone, and then like I don't let anything impact me anymore. Like when I was first in the industry, I used to be very upset, mad, walking around stumping like, who these people think they talking to? My parents don't work here. Like, right. I used to get
taking
so
people's
upset.
Coffee. No,
they literally. So I think over time, I developed emotional intelligence, learned how to have crucial conversations, which led to like me being able to impact people in a way that, others haven't been able to. And then I think it's easier for people who are fresh eyes. So like for me, in my new role, I'm new to the company. So they're like, okay, maybe we should listen because you're new. And others who have been there 10 plus years, they probably just got kind of like, tunnel vision and not looking at the future and bigger picture. Because at the end of the day, we all work for this company. If they go down, we go down. And I got a family, so I don't got time for you to be playing with my family. So let's work together and let's move forward. It's a time to play, but it's a time to work too. So
100%.
Absolutely.
Oh man, I wish we could stay there more, but go ahead.
So beyond your professional work, you're a Crohn's disease advocate and mentor to women of color in STEM. So how do these personal commitments intersect with your professional life, and what drives your passion for these causes?
Yeah, I've had Crohn's since 2020. I've been in remission since for the last 5-6 years. And I just think a lot of people who have my condition, I'm also in a organization called Koji, and it's really an organization to support those in this community, in the Black and brown community, who deal with like, colon cancer or Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, anything related gastro-wise. So being a part of this community, you really see that there's not a lot of people that can go to work. Like, some people have to stop working. Some people, and it's not because they don't want to work. It's because organizations are not really set up to support people who kind of deal with this, because it impacts people every day. Like, I remember when I first found out I had Crohn's, work from home didn't even exist. I told my boss, like, look, here's what I'm dealing with. I need to go to the Mayo Clinic for 5 days. So I'm not really trying to take off. So like, can I just bring my laptop? And the CIO at the time was like, absolutely. Like, you one of my top performers. So whatever you need to make sure that you're good, I'll honor that. And right when I came back home from the Mayo Clinic, I never forget, literally the next day, they was like, okay, the world's shutting down. So everybody need to stay
Right.
home. And I remember when I became an engineer, like I told my boss at the time, like, hey, just so you know, I have Crohn's. I got to get infusions. So like I'm gonna have to be working. And if you looking at my background, mind your business, okay? Like if you hear stuff in the background, mind your business. He was like, oh, like you don't have to tell me. He was like, if you working, that's all I care about. Like whatever you need. Eventually, I got him to weekends. So I go on the weekends now, but I think I do it because I want people to see like you can still live what they consider normal, because it's not normal. I can do everything that everybody else can do. I just have a condition that's just invisible. So I do it just to show like you can still have a life, have a kid, get married,
Right.
all of that, travel and work, and then so I do it for that, and then like a lot of people Tyler James Williams. Like a lot of people didn't know that he had Crohn's at first. So he's known for the role Everybody Hates Chris, and now he's on Abbott. But nobody knew that he had Crohn's for real. Like he just started like promoting it, and people like, dang, like you're doing all of this stuff and you have this disease. Like, so I love seeing that, and like our organization actually works with him. So I love that people can see like, oh, like these different people can still like have a life. So I do that, and then actually where I work for J&J, because at first I didn't tell anybody, but it just so happened that the other day, first day of Cybersecurity Awareness Month, I work at Johnson & Johnson. So they have a special place in my heart because they manufacture my medicine. So I have a special place for them because the people who are working for them are working around the clock to make sure people like me can have access to that medicine. And J&J actually has a program that pays for your medicine. Like they will cover your medicine outside of insurance. When I got the opportunity to work there, I'm like, this was great. Like I get to see like and be in the organization that helps. So it's like it's a personal connection for me. Right. And then just like when it comes to like mentoring, somebody just asked me like, I need to come to you for mentorship, and I'm like, y'all, I need a break. I said, so I don't mind mentoring. I have some success stories, but I think my biggest thing for me is just making sure that people is their biggest cheerleaders. When people ask me like, well, how can I get into the cybersecurity industry? I'm like, follow your own journey. Don't look at this person. Don't look at that person. You got to be your biggest cheerleader because it's tough. It's very, very tough because it's been times where I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm not about to deal with this. But when you're your own like biggest cheerleader and you follow your own journey, and like people always talk about people who post on LinkedIn, but no, that's where people are at today. People need to see that. Like even on social media, people need to see success stories. They need to see that. They need to be an inspiration. I get inspired by everybody in this industry. I don't care what level you are, how long you've been in the industry. I get inspired a lot because it's tough being in this field. And I respect people that, are just so open and supportive in this industry. Because again, this industry wasn't really made for us. It wasn't, but we deserve a seat at the table as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. We have Dr. Jeree Spicer here on the Cyber Coffee Hour, part of the Alive Podcast Network. As we get into the back half of the episode, learn a little bit more about Dr. Spicer and also some of the things she likes to do, when she's not working. So, Dr. Jeree, so we understand that you have a couple projects that you're working on, including the Control Alt Re and your upcoming book, I Belong Here, Words of Affirmation for Black Women in Cybersecurity. So they both sound, incredibly impactful. Could you tell us more about these two projects, your podcast, your book, and how they work together to empower Black women in cybersecurity?
Yeah, so the Control Alt Re podcast. So for those who have been following me since day one, I've always done something called Cyber TTV, and it was like 5 to 10 minute clips on just topics in cybersecurity. But I'm gonna be real. I got really overwhelmed trying to make sure that I was put together to record these videos. I'm like, this is exhausting. Like, I'm not going to keep doing this. And like, how Instagram got the close friends feature. So everybody always think that close friends is for the explicit stuff, but it's not. It's really just for the private stuff. So I started talking about like different cybersecurity stuff, career stuff. And somebody was like, man, you need to start a podcast. Like I would listen to it and I know nothing about it. But it actually took me a long time to start it. So Control RE, it was like 2 years in the making. But it's not your typical tech podcast. I'm talking about everything is cybersecurity related, but I'm talking about it in a relatable way. Like, as an example, I talked about that Netflix documentary that came out, The Unknown Number, the whole high school catfishing case. It happened in Michigan.
God, my girlfriend just watched it. I gotta go back and watch. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to go back and watch it. No, you got to go back and watch it because so I talked about that because it actually happened in Michigan. It actually happened near where I went to college at. So I talked about that, and like the guy in the documentary talked about cyber Munchausen syndrome. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like here go another thing we got to learn about. So I did an episode on that. I'm pretty sure y'all on social media and y'all have seen how people was talking about Love Island and all of that. I did a podcast episode on Love Island, but I tied in like cyberpsychology and the importance of like how that impacts our behavior and led it into cyberbullying. And people was like, I didn't even know, like doing different things like that. It's really just not your typical tech podcast. It's where I'm blending cybersecurity, community, and culture. Like that's all I'm about. Like that's what Control Alt Re is about, and it's for everybody to listen to it. It's for everybody. You could be walking your dog, changing a diaper, working out, reading, going to work. Like it's not long episodes. Like it's anywhere from 20 to 35 minutes. This is the first season, so it's 8 episodes out there. I'm on Spotify and I'm on Apple Podcasts, but I enjoy it, and I've been getting a lot of really good feedback on it. If I can impact one person a day, I'm straight. Like, that's how I see that. So my book, I actually didn't know if I was going to come out with this book because this book is really, really personal. These are like my experiences, things that I've written down like personally. But it's called I Belong Here, Words of Affirmation for Black Women in Cybersecurity. I have been through a lot in this industry and I'm tired of hiding it. And I think that it's time for people to know, like, it's time for people to know, like, what you really go through in this industry and how you can combat it. And I'm not a therapist, even though I got a semester of social work classes. I'm not a therapist, but I also, a lot of my close circle are therapists. My love language is words of affirmation. So that's how I came up with it. And it's really for the women. I'm not saying that men can't buy it because I didn't think adults was going to buy my children book, but they did. So it's really for women to pick up and look like, okay, this is what she went through. I might be going through this. So in that book, it's really like it's almost like my personal journal entries. It's like personal stories that I've been through in the industry. And I keep it respectful. Like I keep companies out of it. I keep names out of it. The only names that are in there are for the people that I've gotten permission from, and it's me thanking them. So I have a chapter on like resiliency. I have a chapter about imposter syndrome, me getting in the industry. I even have a chapter about navigating Crohn's while being in this industry. I got a chapter about ReeTheCyberBoss, and I got a chapter about cybersecurity in there. And I also have a chapter in there where I'm thanking a lot of the women who have encouraged me and supported me throughout this journey. And it's really for, I want Black women to be able to pick it up, whether they're in tech or cyber, and get through the day. It's 6 chapters, so it's not long, but I'm very interested to see how people are going to react to it because there's some stuff in there. You like, if I was you, I probably wouldn't be working in this field no more because I've been through ageism. I've been through sexism. I've been through a toxic work environment. I've been stressed, burnt out, anxious, like all type of stuff. I went through postpartum, like all type of stuff. So I'm really just hoping that people really resonate with this book. And I say it right at the beginning of the book. This book is not perfect. If you picking this up and thinking this is a peer review article, it is not. This is strictly from me. And I didn't even know how to write the book. So every day I recorded a conversation with myself every day. Then I transcribed it and made it into chapters because that was the best way for me to like get this out. Because people think like if you just type it out, but it just wasn't the same. I'm like, no, I need it to be raw. Like I don't want grammarly correcting or word correcting what I'm saying.
Right.
I need this to be like raw and straight to the point. I mean, of course, my publishers make sure it's grammatically correct, but it's really in my voice. It's my experience. Right. So like, that's why I said at the beginning, like, this is not a book about the technical jargon. This is like straight up, like, here's what it's about and here's what you're going to get from it. So I'm hoping it'll be coming out soon. I feel like ever since I went to get a doctorate, I read stuff over and over and over and edit. And I know my publisher was like, girl, like, cause every day they're like, are we close? And I'm like, I think we need to change this. So like, I just finished the changes like 2 weeks ago. So now we got to figure out when I'll release it. So it'll probably be coming out within the next month or two, definitely before the end of 2025. I just hope people pick up that book and feel like, you know, wow, I'm not the only one going through this. And again, fellas, I'm not saying y'all can't buy the book, but it is dedicated to Black women. But some people, some couples may be in the same industry. So I'm okay with everybody reading it, but I just want everybody to be inspired.
That's Dr. Awesome. Ree, yeah, again, speechless. Load us up with the links. I didn't know what Love Island was, so I'm probably gonna have to buy the book. Like, like load us up, like, because yeah, you're right. That's a gap. There was a gap there when you mentioned it. And any links, precursor, prefaces, anything you got, just load us up for the show notes, because that's just, again. So we're the blend and the passion that we've heard for justice with your tech interests. Looking back and reflecting, what was the very first piece of technology, or perhaps an experience, tech experience, that initially sparked your interest and set you on a path towards cybersecurity?
So I got my one of my early birthday gifts. I remember when I was 5. My aunt has always worked in tech. So my mom worked for the government. So I've never been able to go to work with her. So anytime it was like, take your daughter to work day, I went with my aunt. And I didn't know what they were doing. I'm just like, they working on computers and they look cool. So I remember like, I remember like, dang, I want to learn how to type. I want to learn how to work a computer. So my aunt, her job was like, we'll like give your niece a refurbished device. Like they didn't clean it and everything, get that to her as a gift so she can like learn how to do stuff on it. So, my aunt brought that home one day. And like, I started learning how to type. She was teaching me how to type, teaching me like about, I'm just cracking up because of how much Microsoft and Windows has changed and how you used to have AOL. Like, it's just crazy how much technology has really come a long way. But like, you know, just, so I learned age 5 is when I got my initial spark, like with technology. And I've always been obsessed with the law. I am gonna be the first one to say, Law and Order SVU. I'm a true fan. Like, I don't care what nobody say. I used to watch Law and Order, all the Law and Orders, and Judge Judy. I don't care. Judge Judy is my girl to this day. I used to watch those 2 shows consecutively every day. But I also had like, my grandmother was in the home with us, so those are the type of shows she liked to watch. So I in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be a lawyer. Then when my aunt first brought up cybersecurity, she like, well, maybe you can like go to school for cybersecurity law. Now look, if I could go back into time, I would have absolutely. It's a very small population of people who are cybersecurity and privacy lawyers. I should have did that, but that just wasn't my passion. I got pulled away from law and really fell into like just the tech aspect. So my first experience was at age 5, but then when I was going through post-grad depression, and yes, it's a real thing. I looked it up. It's a real thing. When I went through that, I was a research assistant when I was going through the social work program because I thought I wanted to save the world. Shout out to all the social workers. Y'all deserve to be paid way more. Very important in this community, very important in this world. So it wasn't for me. I felt like I was out of place, and that's how I transitioned into cyber. And I hated cyber when I first got into it, and I talk about that in the book too. I hated cyber. I talked about it in the podcast. The very first 3 months of cyber, I said this was a mistake. This sucked. Until one of my classmates was like, man, you just got to get through these early parts. And then like, I like to think of cyber as a relationship. Now, I ain't never been married yet, but you got to get to know a person, figure out what you like, what you don't like. You're going to be mad some days. You're going to be happy some days. So once I kind of start taking that aspect, I'm like, okay, like this was the best decision I've ever made being in cyber. And, yeah, so that was like where my interest came from. But my interest was started at 5. It reignited when I was a research assistant because I was still like doing different things that were related to tech. And then like once I made that switch, I'm like, okay, I'm not looking back. And I'm not of the mindset of quitting. I've had to quit some things in my life, but I got to a point where it was like, okay, I have to, because if the passion is not there, it's not going to make sense. I had passion for cybersecurity, and I still do to this day. Like, I love when people say, oh my God, like when I go to like conferences, people be like, "Oh my gosh, like the cyber boss." I'm like, "Stop!" Like,
there you go. There
I
you
get
go.
so, I get so
Shame,
I get so embarrassed. But it's so nice to hear that, because like people are starting to recognize me by my brand. I really take my brand serious. And yeah, so like I love this industry. Now I don't know where it's going, but I'm down for the ride. But I'll be the first one to say somebody just need to take AI and get with these doctors. Let's figure out how we can cure some of this stuff and let's use it for the right ways. That's what I'm gonna say. It'll be great for at least for Crohn's, because I have it. Can y'all figure out what's going on with that? Get some early screening tests going on using AI. I know people are scared of AI, but we got to embrace it. We just got to use it ethically. And I just think it's funny because AI been around for so long, it just started booming for real. So just imagine how people felt when the internet came out. Like, I talked to my grandparents and they're like, they remember when they didn't have internet. Like, you had the library and word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we just got to be able to embrace this type of stuff. But yeah.
So, Dr. Ree, I hear two things. First, you embodied what we've said on other shows before, right? Everyone thinks it's difficult to get into cybersecurity. When in actuality, that's a lower lift of staying in cyber, to your point.
Yes,
like a lot of
absolutely.
folks, emotionally, through adversity, through all of the things that they're dealing with, they do wind up leaving, right? They do wind up leaving and never looking back. Or they carry that baggage throughout their career. So I'm going to cough that up too. When, much like you, it was the opposite. Like, hey, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I sticking in? But then you got to think, like, that provides a lifestyle change for your family too. So that was a message received. The second thing I'm going to give you is shout out to CyberLawCon, because just until recently, those two houses never talked. So you're right. Law and cyber, there was different parallels between breaking the laws, cyber intrusion, things like that. And also the other side of the fence, there wasn't enough technical, how they say, IQ, right? There was a lot of EQ on library side, but there wasn't a lot of IQ in transition. But you might want to check that out. You might want to check out CyberLawCon and see where the parallels are to change some of the things that we're doing to support folks with Crohn's and some of the workforce gaps too. Because there's still a lot of workforce gaps. There's still a lot of inaccessibility to support folks doing this job. So where we're gonna go? Oh, go ahead. You got it, Dr. Joseph. You got it.
No, the only thing I was just going to add was that what I took away from what you shared, Dr. Ree, is that, as you mentioned, like cyber being a relationship. At first, you hated cyber initially, and then find your way back to it. I think that's been a common theme, honestly, as as we're in our third season now. We've had a couple guests who shared similar sentiments where, when they were, especially if they were switching over from a different career field, it wasn't, quote unquote love at first sight when it came to cybersecurity. They tried it for a while, and then they dropped, they tried something else, then eventually came back, and then after that they really hit the ground running. So I think it's great that you share that, because a lot of people feel that when you're starting with cybersecurity, you should be all in, from the start, or and that's not always the case. You mentioned some people do drop out. Some people actually just didn't like it, and they maybe dropped out for a while, let it marinate, then came back. But I think that is just an example of the perspective that needs to be shared. And I'm glad you're doing that. You're putting yourself out there. You're sharing your voice. You're doing that through your children's book, your own personal book, your podcast, just all these different ways to sharing your story, because people need to hear that and know that, because there are a lot of people who sit out there silently that may be going through the same things, but they may not be as vocal, they may not be as forthcoming, but they sit there. Some people, suffer in silence, but when they see someone that looks like them or have a similar, background, or maybe come from the same city or whatever the case may be, they see that, like, it gives them that confidence. Now, okay, I see that she's doing that. I could do that too. You know what I'm saying? So again, I think that's perfect that you're doing that. You're putting yourself out there, because I know it's gonna have a positive impact on the community as a whole.
And so, Dr. Ree, we're coming to the part of our show, which we're going to lighten the mood a little bit. But what would you say, with such a demanding schedule and juggling so many roles, what would your go-to favorite coffee that helps you power to the day? What coffee would that be?
I'm in that gym 7 days a week. That's what helps me.
The gym.
The gym is the coffee.
I like that.
I am in that gym 7 days a week. 7 days a week.
Nice.
Literally, like that's my coffee. It
Nice. So
powered me through. Like,
that was a good
I
spin.
gotta start. That's how, you know how people, like, my mom is a coffee drinker, so that's how she started her day off. Me, I'm getting in that gym every day, every morning. I went to the gym today. Like, my boyfriend and I build a little small home gym in our garage. So we got a 2-car garage. And I'm like, at first I'm like, I ain't trying to do that because I want to get away. But like, I'm very happy that we took the time to like build it because I pretty much got everything I need. But that's how I, like, if I don't work out, I'm cranky. Like how if people don't have their coffee, they sleepy, and they mad. That's me.
Right. That
makes
that's
perfect
what's up.
sense. Yeah.
I absolutely relate to that because for me, especially with the work schedule, so I go to it like first thing in the morning, so I'm up at like 4. That's probably the first thing I do is go to the gym before I start anything else. It does, especially if you're doing like a run. At least for me, it really helps to clear the mind and puts me in a better mindset. And even this is going back into the military when I had to do it, part of PT, but I just learned from that because that physical activity, like I said, I don't know, it does something. I know there's some science, science proper terminology that comes with it, but it does do something, at least for me, like mentally, like it helps to clear the mind and just put me in a better state. So it's I mean, the gym can serve as a coffee, as that fuel that you need.
My cousin's been telling me for years, and I stopped going really, like, my brother's a gym rat. Shout out to my brother Edward, right? And so when he got pretty big and in Brawlick and stuff, he was like, oh, that, he went unemployed and started going to the gym. He's like, I don't know how he did it to this day, but my cousin who shall remain anonymous has been telling me for years, yo, because you got to get back in the gym. You got to get back in the gym. So that's strike 2. The doctorate and the gym is a must for 2026.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm hearing it, I'm taking notes. Like, I'm researching on y'all research right now, and I said, all right, I do get pretty hangry without my cup of coffee. I don't know how, like, to make it through a week without coffee. I tried. I made it 4 months, right, and then I took 55 pounds off, and I was like, it's not the coffee. But now I'm starting to see, like, it's got to be both. It got to double dip and figure out how to do that going into 2026, excuse me. But he's been telling me for like 8 years. So he's been telling me once I had my kids, it was like, yo, bro, you guys still do both. And it's no excuse, right? And my brother's the same way. So yeah, definitely message received now for the recording.
So Dr. Ree, if you could have any superpower to help you in cybersecurity, what would it be and why?
Okay. That's hard. Why don't y'all tell me y'all superpowers?
I'll go first.
I need some motivation.
I would love the ability to read minds and predict, like, cyber attackers. Like to your point, everybody wants to be the cowboy, ethical hacker, pen tester, even blue teamers, right? We want to know where the signals is coming from, where the alerts is going. But if I had that ability, we had a guest on that talked about it. It'd be like precognitive, like cyber intrusion. Stop, right? Like, no, like, if I could see and understand that, that would be my superpower, reading the minds of an adversary.
I would say
superpower.
Oh yeah. I would say for me it would be similar to the Beast from X-Men, where he's like just hyper intelligent, but also using, of course he can use his physical attributes to take care of business, but also like I say, he's super intelligent, and I would use that to help, educate, the cyber community to make sure that we're training the next generation of cyber individuals, cyber professionals. So for me, that'd probably be my cyberpower.
Okay. I think we all might be similar, but if I could choose any superpower, you know how Spider-Man got spidey senses?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I would, it would be like to really just like the sense that somebody about to make something risky online, but then I would bring like cyber psychology into it, and I feel like my brain would like light up or something, or like something like that.
Nice.
It's gonna stay lit for forever. Then.
Listen, like, if I had that superpower,
she's her own power grid, like Storm.
It's like, it'd be like Storm. Like, it'd probably be something like that. Or oh gosh, what's her name? She was in the Avengers. She was in the Avengers, and she was towards the end. what's her name? Wanda?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And I feel like
right.
she was the one that could like touch her brain and like could yeah. I feel like
They had a
something like
separate
that.
series for her. Yeah, yep, exactly.
Yeah, and it's a separate series for her, but I feel like it would be something like that, and I would be called like, you know, the cyber boss, obviously. Yeah, I would be like the cyber boss. Like that would be the name. And like I could detect like when people are gonna do something and then try to change their mind when they're about to do what they're about to do.
Nice. So something like Spidey sense and then the augment. She was keeper of the reality, right? The metaversal reality. So yeah, that is well received. And I don't think I don't think the industry would be ready because you don't have the two talk together.
Right.
But if I had to, that would be like a, you know,
that would be it.
In my mind. That would be it.
All right,
that was pretty hard though.
So last question here. So beyond your incredible work in cybersecurity, what are some hobbies, interests, or recreational activities you enjoy in your downtime?
Obviously, y'all know I go to the gym.
Yes, obviously.
I do I do solid core, so that's another form of workout, but that's fun for me. I actually love to do nothing all day and watch TV. Like I'm a binge watcher, so like I think it's Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays that they have SVU marathons, but SVU still come on to this day, so I'll watch that.
Nice.
I'm a big I don't know what they call them, but I'll say comfort TV watcher. So like I have comfort TV shows that I've seen and I just watch it just because I know I can. So like I watch The Parkers every day. I love Grey's Anatomy. I really like to get rest. Like I like to just be in bed, but like being that I got a whole house to run, like I don't always get that. And of course, like spending time with my, you know, my family and my friends, but being in the gym is like really like, that's something that I got to do to start the day. Just before I do anything with anybody, I could go to the gym and then come right back to bed. Like I could do something like that, but that's like probably like, yeah, I mean, I'm really big on like, just the whole mental well-being and just making sure that you're good here, you're good here, and you're good physically and spiritually. So like, you know, I'm trying to take up a new hobby and trying to read because for my birthday, I had asked people like, I want y'all to get me some books so I can actually read. So I'm trying to now commit to like, all right, starting October, I'm going to complete a book and then like each month complete a new book. So yeah.
Oh, you got to go on Goodreads then. If you're going to do that starting now into the New Year's, you said you journal already, right?
Yeah, I journal. But I got like about 5 books over here that I need to get through first before I add in anything else.
Yeah, add those books to Goodreads. It's like a platform that keeps you on target, like to focus on, and then use that as a journal, like journal your entries that you complete.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be pretty cool because it is difficult. I'm an avid reader too, but the challenge, like you said, is I can't read things in cyber first. Got to read emotional or psychological books first, encouraging books before I go back. But yeah, Goodreads helps me. It's helped me for a few years because it's tied to the emotional reading, and it tells you like a paraphrase every time you complete a goal, or to give you like words of encouragement while you're reading.
Yeah, I got. Let's see. I have Lord prepare me to be a godly wife. I have emotional self-care for Black women. Discover how to raise your self-esteem, eliminate negative thinking, and heal from past traumas, even if your life is chaotic right now. I have I'm Not Yelling, a Black woman's guide to navigating the workplace, and then the 48 laws of power for women fed up with workplace dominance.
Yeah, drop us links to all of them. We got to get we got to get like a digital library going now.
And then I have this, I don't know if y'all follow him, but it's Solomon Jordan. He got the Hey God. He just got the quick prayer. So I like him. But yeah, so that's kind of like what I do. I go to church too in my spare time. I try to get that every day, no matter what, because this industry we work in and the times we living in, I'm like, oh, y'all folks, I can't keep up.
It is brutal nowadays.
Yep.
Dr. Ree, it was amazing having you on the show, having you on the Cyber Coffee Hour. Before we let you go, is there anything you want to share with our listeners?
Follow me across all platforms at ReeTheCyberBoss. Subscribe to Control Alt Read. Listen to the podcast. Got 8 episodes so far. And
keep going.
And I want to dedicate a podcast episode to an Ask Me Anything session. So if you're listening to this Send me an email, send me a LinkedIn message, send me a DM, ask me anything, and I'm going to answer it during that podcast episode. Yeah, thanks for having me. I was happy to be here. It's a great conversation. Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. And we'll reciprocate. We'll probably come back on your show. Yeah, but thank you for
when I get established like y'all, then I can bring people.
Nah, don't say we still in there. We still out. That was good. I like that. We still out here too,
yeah. So that's a wrap on another episode of the Cyber Coffee Hour, part of the Live Podcast Network. We hope you enjoyed our chat with Dr. Jeree Spicer. So don't forget, you can find more amazing shows like ours on the Live Podcast Network app. If you'd like to show your support and keep the coffee brewing, you can contribute to the cause by checking out our Linktree and donating to our Buy Me a Coffee platform. A huge thank you to all of our listeners. So please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. So until next time, stay safe out there and keep brewing. All right, that's it. It's a wrap. We out of here. Peace.